Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
It's a fucking sick cycle, man. On another note, welcome to the Voices of Redemption podcast. I've got my man Steve over here. Steve, where are you from, brother?
I'm from Oklahoma originally.
Oklahoma, 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
We're at in Oklahoma.
Norman, Oklahoma.
What the fuck is in Norman, Oklahoma?
It's Norman, Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma. It's
Okay.
a college. So it's a college town, right? It's fairly progressive, pretty liberal, very like laid back, live music. As far as Oklahoma goes, it's not the most conservative place, right?
Got it.
Big football town. As a kid, it's awesome, right? Good
Yeah.
school system. It's young. There's an influx of students every year.
Nice.
So the town grows,
Yeah.
So you get exposed. Like I got exposed to a lot of different cultures growing up, because of Norman. Because,
Okay.
So we had like neighbors that were, professors at the university, and then they had their kids, and it was just, a lot of people from a lot of different places. So for me, it was like great as a kid.
Yeah. How long did you live in Oklahoma?
So I was there, let's see, I was there until I was like 11,
Mm-hmm.
and then I moved to Michigan. I got in quite a bit of trouble. I was an angry kid.
Okay.
So
I can relate.
yeah. Put a kid in the hospital, ended up in the courts. The school system said, all right, you can't come back, right? So my grandparents were like, okay, we'll take him. So I went up to Michigan. I was on probation for a number of years after that. And stay with my grandparents.
And probation, you were on probation in Michigan?
I was on probation in Michigan. Yeah.
From your stuff in Oklahoma?
From my stuff in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty serious. My parents ended up, I think, paying like the hospital bills. The kid was severely injured.
What did he do to you?
It was over a girl.
Fucking speaking of devils, man.
It was over a girl, right? I felt like he was disrespecting my girlfriend,
Yeah.
And I caught him after school. And I beat him up. And the mistake I made back then that I would make again in life, but not too many times, right? Is when somebody's down, right? You don't kick them while they're down,
Yeah.
right? And I've learned that. And there's like, it goes into a lot of things that we do in life, right? Like kicking somebody when they're down.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But I learned the hard way then. You can really hurt somebody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no.
and I did. So.
I think that's like anger in general, bro. Like when we're angry, we don't really know when to stop, type of thing.
No, absolutely.
I can relate to that as well. I've been in many scuffles, man, and thank God nobody got severely hurt.
Right.
And it's crazy, man. Even just like fights in general, like people don't realize, like even just like people wanting to square up outside of a bar, or like. Like people want to just like fist fight, all this, take it outside. Like, bro, one wrong hit, bro, you could kill somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nothing to mess with. You
Yeah.
know? And I carried that anger with me for a long time.
Yeah.
And it definitely got me into more trouble than. I've never won on anger. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
No matter what, even if I was walking away winner of a fight, it never was a win for me.
Yep. Yeah.
And the older I get, the more I realize that. And now I'd like to say I have a good handle on my anger these days. I've learned a lot of patience and
Yeah,
things.
no, you do. You got patience, brother. I can speak from experience, man. That just being around you, you got a lot of patience and tolerance, my brother.
Yeah, but that's not something. That's something I just came into.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
in the last 2 years, right?
Got it.
Through meditation and some other, just some other things that I swore didn't work, and when I tried them, it turns out they do work,
Yeah.
right? And for me, I found a lot of peace in those things.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Meditation's definitely I don't want to say a big thing in my life these days, but I could definitely use it. That's for sure. But definitely a lot of very successful people and people that have that like Zen about them. Meditation plays like a big part in their life.
It's huge. It's
And
huge.
It's like even if it's like, and it's one thing that like Lisa, Lisa,
Sure.
does our meditations and like just sound therapy and the sound bowls and all that, is like, even if you take like 3 minutes, bro, you know what I mean? Like 3 minutes of just turning some sort of a meditation on and just like breathing and stopping for like 3 minutes of your day can make like the biggest fucking difference.
Yeah, the neuroscience behind it is amazing.
Yeah.
If you just look into it, it's like it really changes, the plasticity in your brain, and it fires off all these new, pathways, and you can really like achieve more, right?
Yeah.
Like you can pick up on things. Your energy level's different. You calm. Just the calm and the peace that I got when I started meditating,
Yeah.
like, it changed my life. It did.
Yeah.
It changed my life. And I was in where was I? In detox. The last time.
Oh, you were a drug addict.
That's right. Yeah.
You were a drug addict.
Last time I overdosed on fentanyl, I woke up in the hospital, and ended up in a detox center. And that's when I like really learned meditation. Yeah, drug addict, long time.
Long time.
Many years.
Gotta-
Many years.
Got your credentials on that one.
Yeah. I've been in. I think I was an addict for 29 years. So before sobriety really set in these last few years.
How long you been sober now?
I'll have 2 years next month.
Thanks. 29 years of drug addiction. You got 2 years sober now, bro.
Yep.
That's powerful, dude. That's a long time to be a drug addict, bro.
Yeah. Started early. Right?
Yeah.
But it creeps in, Like for me, it started with the regular stuff, right? It always starts with marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was more like marijuana, and then I got into hallucinogens really early. So I started dropping acid when I was like 11, something like that.
Same, 12.
My parents found out, and they freaked out, and I ended up in a place for kids that, like this lockdown facility. Anyway, wouldn't be the first time or the last that I ended up in one of those places. But but my drug addict, it was like I would use for a while, and it would be really heavy, and then I would sort of put it down, and I would like delve into some other things, whether it was basketball or football or, the debate team for a while in school. I had other interests, but the drugs were always there.
Yeah.
Every time things went foul, it was back to the drugs.
Yeah.
Every time something didn't work out, it was back to the cocaine or, the meth eventually, and then heroin.
Crazy?
And it just builds, right? And so
it's like, oh, shit's not going good right now. I'm going to go fuck it up even more.
Yeah.
It's like crazy how our brains work, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Give me those external solutions, right? I had all these internal problems, and I was always looking for something outside of it.
Yeah.
Like, what can I pump in to like solve what's going on in here?
Yeah.
And it never worked. It never fixed anything, right?
Facts. Those core issues, bro. It's those core issues, man. And it's like, it's crazy to think that it took 29 years of drug addiction to like finally make you realize like, oh shit, like it's not the drugs. You know what I mean? It's actually me and the core issues that I have, and realizing that there's so much more work to be done than just like removing the drugs,
Oh, it's insane, and I still catch myself throwing pity parties and, feeling sorry for myself and all these ridiculous things, right, from the things that I've come out of, and I still experience, not as much anymore, but I still go through them, right? But I do it like sober, and then I have that realization where I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I wasting 10 minutes on these thoughts, right, when I could just be progressing in a different way?
Yeah.
And it's like I'm getting better. I won't say I'm great at it, but I'm getting better.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that process of like fucking, you know what I mean? Like even just having something minuscule happen in a day, and like I go back to like my drug addiction, like, oh, it's fucking raining outside and I'm depressed. I'm gonna get high.
Yep.
Because it's raining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like fucking, oh, I didn't get the job. I'm going to get high and just really fuck it up, or
That's
like something didn't go my way. Or I'm just going to like really fuck it up, right? And get further from what I'm trying to achieve.
Exactly.
It's like that's our brain chemistry, almost like, I got to fuck this up, like in the case of the fuck it's,
Yeah, it's the chaos, right? And that's what I had a really good drug counselor, and that's what he told me, right? It was like, you're not addicted to drugs. He said, Steve, you're addicted to chaos, right? Yeah. And you probably heard that before, right?
100%.
But it stuck with me, right? And I'd always think about that because it didn't matter what the drug was, I wanted it, right?
Yeah.
But it was like I wanted the chaotic situation.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in the trap house. I wanted to be in the shitty apartment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted the prostitutes around. I wanted like the worst shit imaginable, right? I wanted to fill my life with that because then I was comfortable. Then I was like, all right, this is familiar.
Yeah.
Right? I can do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Finding comfort
this
in
is
the
my
chaos.
These are my people.
Yeah. No, facts.
This is where I belong. Right? This is what I deserve. And that's what I kept telling myself. You deserve this.
Yeah.
Right? You earn this. You don't deserve any more than this. You know, it took me 29 years to come out of that and go, you know what, I do deserve more than this.
Yeah.
You know,
Finding comfort in the chaos, as they would say, you know, and only certain people understand that, you know, and it's like, again, I say it all the time, like there's like a group of people doing fucked up shit. Like I wanted to go like be with those group of people that were like fucking up shit, you know?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
it's like, oh, these guys are achieving stuff over here and being productive members of society. No. I don't want to fucking do that.
Right.
The fuck?
Bunch of losers.
Bunch of losers. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. My thoughts exactly. You know, I don't know. You know, it's been a wild. I could tell you this. It's been a wild ride, right? But the peace that I find like these days, like doing, you know, getting to like work with guys like you and just be around like the treatment industry and like getting to help other guys and like watching these kids come up and like trying to stop them from driving 100 miles an hour into a brick wall, right? But it brings like a lot of joy in my life, right? Because you do help some of them.
Yeah.
You know?
I've seen you speak life into some of these people that are struggling, bro, and it's based off your own experiences. You know what I mean? You got a couple years ahead of most of these guys, and it's like, you know, again, I can say like it's just a powerful thing to be able to be in a position to help based off your own experience. You know, it's not like just a career that, you know, you got into, you know, that you just so happened to like and, you know, you wanted to get into it. It's something that like you've lived yourself, you know, and we even had a conversation with the individual today that, you know, you really spoke into him, man, and based off your own life experience about slowing down and not operating off of emotion and really taking time to process things before you make a decision, you know, and I saw his eyes literally light up like, oh shit, maybe this guy's right.
Isn't that
You know
crazy
what I
how
mean?
that works? It's like, but it's like I'm talking to myself. Usually that's what I do, right? I'm like, what would I tell myself if I was acting like this right now? You know, and I had these words, and I've had those words, and I've told people the same thing. I'm leaving. It's emotional terrorism, right? And so it's like, what would I tell myself right now? And I want to advise myself not to do that. Don't do that, bro. You know, there's a better way, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's important. And that's why I love doing this, right? Is like you can like stop some things, right?
Yeah.
You can help some people in different ways.
You're saving someone's life, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's such a small decision of somebody wanting to leave treatment or just make a dumb decision to go work in a certain area or fucking just the minuscule things of such a small decision that someone's going to make that could potentially fuck up their entire life, and being able to be that buffer in between that's like, yo, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, it's saving somebody's life, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's the truth. It's like being able to take 5 and sit down with a guest, right? And stopping them from making a decision that could have literally ended their life. There's not many careers out there like that.
No, it's very fulfilling.
It is, man. And it's good for your own recovery, too.
It's very fulfilling.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's great for my recovery, right? You know, but even us, right? Like even we need like something outside of that to keep it going, you know? And I have to remember that, right? Because I know that when my ego creeps up, and it does, right? And that's when my addiction starts kicking back in, right? It starts whispering to me, you know? It starts telling me, I got this, you know? Don't worry about it, Steve. You can do whatever you want still, you know what I mean? You can get away with it. You can go have a drink, you know what I mean? You can go have a line. You don't have to tell anybody, right? It's not like you're getting drug tested anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it starts talking to me,
Yeah.
you know? And that's the stuff you got to watch out for, because I'm always going to be an addict, you know?
Oh, bro,
always,
I still get intrusive ass thoughts,
yeah,
bro. You know what I
always.
mean? Like, I've been clean for 8.5 years, bro, and buddy, I tell you some of the shit that comes through my brain, I'm like, what the fuck was that thought, Nick? You know what I mean? Just like bizarre shit, but it's okay. You're not responsible for your thoughts. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're not responsible for your thoughts. You're responsible for your actions.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of people get carried away on like if they are making progress or not, because they're still thinking like this, but you're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not doing it. It's like a natural thought sometimes. Like fucking. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really get many thoughts of, like, using drugs anymore because it's just, like, I've seen so much death and trauma and fucking just shit just being terrible. But just some of those, like, addict behaviors on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe fucking, what if, you know what I'm saying? Just like bullshit ass fucking shit that just passed through your brain. I don't want to get too fucking deep into like these crazy ass thoughts.
No.
Like,
It's,
you know what I'm saying?
it's when I start taking my will back, right? You know, I try to wake up, I look myself in the mirror every day and tell myself I'm not in control, right? I do that. It's something I actually do every day, and I have to do that, right?
Yeah.
To like remind myself, like, of how out of control I can actually be.
Yeah.
You know, because I live on that scorched earth policy, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got to all burn down, right?
Yeah.
It's all or nothing with me.
Yeah.
So I know if I go out, it's scorched earth, man.
Yeah.
And that's the only way I know how to live. But thankfully, like, I can apply it to this, right? And I can go all in on like treatment. I can go all in on helping people, right?
Yeah.
I can go all in on my life and like doing positive things, which is pretty awesome now. You know what I mean? It's not even something I think about anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something I do. I
Yeah.
just sort of like am on autopilot with that kind of stuff.
That's when you love
know?
what you do, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's
my days go by quick.
Yeah, man, and,
Quick.
it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean?
No.
It just feels like it's a part of you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, of course we have things that happen in the treatment industry. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of fucking things that can go left. There's a lot that happens, man. But like, when it doesn't feel like work anymore, like you've truly found like what your passion is. You've truly found like what it is that you're supposed to do in this life. And I think that's what a lot of people are trying to get to in this world, right? In this
Sure.
thing called life is where
Yep.
they find a career that they love. You know what I mean? And it doesn't feel like work anymore. It's not like you wake up in the morning and you're like, fuck, I gotta work today. Like, no, it's just a part of you. Whenever you find that career, and it is
Right.
a part of you, whether it be working in treatment, or some people do music, or some people do, photography, or you know what I mean, like videography, like whatever it is, like whatever your passion is, wherever you find passion and it doesn't feel like work anymore, like that is something that some people go their entire life without figuring out.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and that's
It
why I am grateful to have found what I truly love to do. Like, what is me? What is a part of me? Because a lot of people, they go their entire lives, bro, without figuring it out.
It's nuts, though. It's like, I say that now, right, because I found it. But it's like, before I found the right path, it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, I used to work with food. And, I was a chef for a while, and it was like, I did all these things, and I really enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't wake up like I do now, where it was like, it was still a struggle.
Yeah.
You know, it's still like, oh, man, I got to get up and, like, go to this place,
Yeah.
right, because I need to make money. Now the money's secondary now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of like, I know that if I follow the path that I'm supposed to be on, I truly believe this, then everything just sort of falls into place.
That's how it goes, bro.
And it works out,
That's how
and the
it
minute
goes.
I get off that path, I feel it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Things will start, I start seeing those roadblocks, and it's like, okay, it's time to reverse, you know what I mean? And find it again.
Yep.
And that's I don't know, I sort of like live by that now.
Yeah, no, it's the truth though, bro. It is, and again, man, like people go their entire lives without figuring this shit out, and it's okay, to not know in the beginning. When you get sober and you live a life of like sobriety, you're like a whole new person. They say it's like trying to learn how to ride a bike without training wheels, and
it is a little bit.
It's kind of like that same process, man, of trying to figure out how to operate in life and still be happy at the same time without drugs and alcohol. And when you found that, that's a true gift, and that's just what I've seen in my own life and seen in other people's lives, man. When they finally find that why, you know what I'm saying, or that thing that they're passionate about, and they pursue it and they're happy, like I fucking love seeing that shit, bro.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of, It's cool to even make mistakes, right? And still want to get up and do better. You know what I mean? Instead of regular jobs where it's like, you know what? Fuck that, dude. I'm not going to do that, But it's like, with this, it's pretty serious, right? And I hold it dearly because there are people's lives at stake, right?
Yeah.
Are we doctors? No. But it's like we're helping people, right?
Man.
And it's like you don't take that lightly. You have to look at it, wake up every day, and realize that.
It's a
Planting
spiritual
seeds,
thing.
right? We're planting a lot of seeds.
Exactly, and it's a spiritual thing, man. And doctors are great. Not knocking the doctors. God bless the doctors and medications for people that need meds and all that jazz. But this recovery process and just the process of recovery, whether it be from substance abuse or mental health, it's a spiritual thing. You know what I mean? It's not there's not a pill that fixes this problem. And
Right.
It's a community and spiritual thing about being spiritually fulfilled and having community and learning from other people that have been in your footsteps. There's no textbooks to this shit, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
There's not.
Just my opinion. Some
No.
people think there is a textbook that fucking cures this shit, but there's
Right.
so much more to it, man.
Right.
And in that textbook, it might teach you about community and spirituality, but it's a big thing, man. It's there's no cure to this. There's no pill. You know what I mean? But being spiritually fulfilled and having that spiritual like walk of life is really, really what the answer to this thing is. And you're in a position to be able to give people that, you know?
Yeah, after I got it myself, right? Like, we get to give it away, you know? And I think all the programs that, like, you know, teach how to, like, beat this thing or, you know, like, overcome it, right? It's all the same stuff, right? You take ownership of your actions, right? You know, you find something outside of yourself where you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's probably, like, better than I am. That's greater than I am, right? Whatever that thing is, you know? And then you give it away to somebody else. It's like, all right, hey, man, I found this. Do you want it? You know, and we get to give it to, like, all these other people. And it's like, here, dude, no, you should check this out, right? It works. You know, and that's really all it is, right?
It is,
it's like,
dude. It's pretty simple.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like, what do they say? Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it's, or keep it stupid, simple. I'm sorry. I just fucking stupid. I said it all fucked up. But yeah, man, it's just as easy as that. And I think that last part that you said is the most important part, is really like giving it to somebody else, you know? And, you know, there's like, they got a lot of cliches in the rooms of AA and NA and things like that, but there's a lot of them are true, actually, you know?
Yeah, there's
But
good stuff, right?
I truly believe that, you know, I can only keep what I have by giving it away. You know what I mean? And I believe that I'm only in the position that I am today because I've operated from a place of that, you know, of trying to give back and being selfless and doing things for the community and doing things for other people and being in a position to mentor and help people and so they don't make the same mistakes that I did, you know, along this
Absolutely.
journey. And
Yep.
I think that's really why I've been able to be so, you know, confident in a sense in my recovery, is because like when you continuously like operate like that, bro, like that obsession doesn't come back very often. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't, man. And again, I don't get the obsession to use anymore today. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't fucking want to drink. I don't want to use drugs. I don't have that, but it wasn't until like 3 or 4 years into my recovery,
Right.
you know, from experiencing, you know, certain things along the way, that's how I started to think like, and again, you're not responsible for your thoughts, but the more that you put yourself in a position to help other people and expect nothing in return, the more that the universe just kind of like works in your favor.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? Is not to expect anything back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, are we doing it for the right reasons, right? You know, and it goes back to there's an Eastern philosophy that talks about that, right? And it's like, if you're doing things like, if I'm telling you hello or like, have a nice day, right? Only to get you to say hello or have a nice day back, right? I'm already doing it for the wrong reasons, right? And it's like, whatever you're putting out into the world, are you doing it like in that way?
Yeah.
Or do you want to just get all the returns back?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, dude, I'm 41 now, right? It's taken me 41 years to like sort of come to that realization. Hopefully some of these kids can get it before that.
Yeah.
You know, and really change things.
Right.
You know.
I agree with that, man. And I think that, you know, there was an old timer in Narcotics Anonymous that said to me, and he said, not just to me, but in a meeting one time, and it really stuck with me. And he said, like, you know, go do something nice for somebody else and then shut the fuck up about it. And then never say nothing about it. Because the minute that you open your mouth about it, it loses its value.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And I think that a lot of people are quick to go and do things and you know, whether that be people that are filming themselves giving stuff to homeless people or, you know, going and doing a good deed and then running back to their friends and being like, look what I did, look what I did, look what I did, guess what I did today?
Right.
I did this. It loses its value at that point, you know? And that stuck with me, man. And it's been stuck with me for years and years now that, you know, go do something out of the kindness of your heart and do it from the kindness of your heart, not because you want a pat on the back, you know, because it really does lose its value at that point.
Yeah, you're dipping into like narcissism, right? Like you see those TikTok videos with the guys, they're giving away money to the homeless people or buying them food, right? But they're posting that online.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, hey, look at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's great that you're doing that, but
Yeah.
why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You know?
I see that so much, man, and
drives me nuts.
it fucking makes me mad, bro. I honestly,
Yeah.
I lost a
Drives me
friend over it. You know,
Really?
I or an acquaintance, let's just say, because like you know, friends don't, you know, whatever. But
Right.
I did because, you know, she continuously like would post herself like, look at us, we're giving the homeless people stuff, and like you're showing these homeless people that are in this like pain and despair and fucking just in the worst position of their life, and in that fucking 10 seconds of you handing them a paper bag with fucking maybe a sandwich and some hygiene products and they're happy for 10 minutes, right?
Right.
And then you go home and you're gonna go sleep in your bed
Right.
with a warm place, you know
Yep.
what I'm saying, a bed to lay in, food in your house, and post your little video on Instagram.
Right.
While that person's on the street fucking dope sick, fucking
Yep.
jeopardizing their life every single day.
Yep.
And you want to go post it and get your fulfillment from all your likes on it. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that shit is not cool to me.
No,
It's
it's
not.
sick. It's sick.
It's not. And some people would disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's cool to encourage other people to go out there and do those things. Don't get me wrong. And I think social media is an amazing place to influence people. But there's no reason to use someone else's pain and what they're going through and their shit, right, to give yourself fulfillment. You know, I think it's kind of like fucked up and twisted, man.
It is, and that's really well put. Actually, I was homeless. I think 3 years. You know,
3 straight years.
3 straight years we were on the street.
Damn,
you know? I
bro.
was homeless from.
You say we.
Yeah, so I was out with JB. So I was, which is like the love of my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had a house one day. Next day we're homeless, and that's a long story, but. You know, we ended up homeless on the street, and if you've ever been homeless, and I think you have,
yeah.
right? You start feeling like you're invisible, right?
Yeah.
You're not a part, and people ignore you, right?
Yeah.
Because you're in this place, and people know when you're homeless. You got the backpack on, you know, you're carrying all your shit around, you know, you haven't showered, right?
Yeah.
We stayed pretty drunk, pretty high, you know, whatever we could do to like sort of mask the homelessness, which just keeps you chained to the homelessness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're drinking all the time, or at least we were, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of our homeless, you know, associates were also doing those things, right? Because you're on the street every day, you know? Go sleep behind a dumpster sober. I promise you it doesn't make sense. There's no sense to be made out of that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it drunk and high, it's like, it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, and 3 years of that, you know, tents in the woods and all these things, right? You become invisible, right? You become not a part of society anymore, you know? And for people to like go out, and there was people that came around and they passed out lunches and blankets and stuff, but they weren't filming us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and they were the same people week in and week out, you know, and they put a lot of effort into that, you know, looking back. It's like, man, those were great people.
Yeah.
You know, they were giving us socks and like things that we really needed in the homeless community.
Yeah.
Right? And people look at me now and they go, yeah, you were never homeless, right? Because I got all my teeth, you know.
Damn, people say the same shit about me
Yeah,
too.
I talk well, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, there's no way. But yes, there is a way,
Yeah.
right? The drugs and the alcohol absolutely ate into my life, right? And that was my life, right? I was willing to give up everything. I was willing to give up my son and my family and, you know, my sisters and my parents. I was willing to give all that stuff away, you know, so I could be on the streets, drinking the alcohol, doing the drugs, and having my pride, right? It's the pride and the ego that ate me alive,
Yep.
you know? And I was going to get myself out of it, right? Steven was going to fix Steven. You know, it took me a long time to come to that realization.
Yeah, man.
You know, and then you wake up one day, and I woke up in a tent one day in the middle of the woods. You know, there was a girl with the needle hanging out of her arm. I woke up next to a smelly pit bull, you know, in the middle of an ice storm. And I said, okay, this is it. This is it. I've had all this shit I want to take, okay? I hadn't talked to my dad in a few years. Called him. He came and got me that morning, and I figured out how to get myself into detox and into treatment, right? But it took all of that time. It took the girl that I was homeless with, you know, she ended up taking her life, right? She stepped in front of a semi one day. She got so depressed. She went out to the highway and she took her own life, right? She stepped right in front of a semi, dragged her down the highway for a bit, you know. That was a tough funeral. That was a tough phone call.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'm out homeless by myself. And it started to make less sense. So I jumped back into heroin and, you know, some of these other things. And I lost myself for a while, you know. And then I don't know what happened. I think God finally was like, okay, you've had enough. You know, maybe this is all the suffering you can handle.
Yeah.
You know, when I look back, it's like, that's it. I think that was all I could actually take, you know, was that day when I woke up in that ice storm. And I thought, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's real shit, bro.
Yeah.
It's rough, man, and that I can kind of like relate to that like gift of like desperation. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That like you finally getting to the point to where, you know, like they say like your bottom's like everyone needs to hit a bottom. Like, bro, your bottom's when you stop digging, because you can always fucking.
Yeah,
there's always that like.
There's
fucking,
no bottom.
No, there's always that trap door, bro.
There's no bottom.
You know,
you'll start losing legs and arms.
Yeah. No, it's the truth.
Can't get any worse than this. Yeah, it can.
It can always.
Promise you it can.
Always get worse.
Yeah,
that's the truth, bro. And
yep.
you know, it's crazy, man, that like even in those moments, you know what I mean, of like being on the street or, you know, like in addiction, and like someone could just bring you like life on a silver platter, right? Just like, here's this life, you know what I'm saying? And like you can have it like right now. You just fucking smack it out of their hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like you're just so like comfortable in the misery and so checked out that like, I don't know about you, but like my concept was, or in my thoughts, I was just, I'm a drug addict.
Yep.
I'm going to die a drug addict.
Yep.
And I'm going to ride this bitch until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, that's
know?
exactly how it was. You come to that realization, you're like, you know what, this is who I am.
Yeah.
So I used to tell people, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I'm just going to shoot up heroin. That's just like, this is my life.
It's so hard to think about, bro. Like, it's like my best friend, you know? Like, I lost my best friend in, you know, in 2014 from a heroin overdose. And, like, I went and started doing heroin. You know what I'm saying? And it's only like people like us that understand that, like, that insanity, right? Like that crazy shit that, like, bro, you just buried your best friend. Like, why would you go start doing heroin? Because, like, I didn't care anymore. You know what I mean? And I just accepted the fact that, like, I cannot deal with the pain and the misery. And I almost, like, didn't want to wake up every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just, like, hoping I didn't wake up sometimes. Right. And sometimes I'd wake up like, fuck. I fucking woke up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I was too much of a coward, I think, to like actually, you know.
Off myself.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, I get that, dude.
So
I'd always
did it slow. Right?
Yeah.
Real slow.
Exactly. Like
the slowest suicide ever.
And that's exactly what it is. It's like every day that you're out there, man. And it's like I used to have after my best friend passed away, I had like a Ford Ranger, like a 1993 Ford Ranger, and I'd be like driving and like I'd always be checking out the trees on the right. I'd always be like checking out the trees. Like I could just, you know what I'm saying? Like just one little fucking yank and I could just end all this shit. You know what I mean? Yep. I just could not fucking do it. But it was every time I was behind the wheel, that's what was going through my head. Like I could do it. But I couldn't. You know what I mean? And like, thank God I didn't today, you know? And it's just crazy to think about, man. It just brought me back, like, thinking about that, man, and how miserable and fucking just shitty I was every single day, bro. And it's easy to kind of like, you know, the longer that you stay clean, it's like, it's easy to kind of forget those days, you know what I mean? And like how bad it really was until, like, you know what I'm saying? We work in a place where we work and you see those people kind of like feeling like that inside, but not saying it.
Right.
And I can relate to that shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and even being that guy to like put the smile on and fucking act like everything's okay, bro, and just being so fucking miserable inside, but being so comfortable in the fucking misery, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Just sort of like, you swim in it, right?
Yeah.
You swim in it.
It's fucking waller in it, you know?
Yeah, it's really nuts, man. But I think, honestly, like, I know that there was something greater in store for me. You know? I used to sit in the woods and pray.
Yeah.
After she died, I would sit in the woods and pray for God to, like, come and just take me away.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't drink any water for, like, days and days.
Yeah.
You know? And I was sober at that time. I was just like, fuck it. I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Sort of in that mindset, you know? But I know today, like, the only reason I made it out was because there was something greater in store for me.
Yeah.
Right? I was meant to do something more. We're all meant to do something more, right?
Yeah.
So if you want it, you know,
100%.
if you want it.
You have to want it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and
Nobody
that's the
can
big
force you to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, like you can bring that life on a silver platter. Like we kind of do it on a daily basis to everybody. Like, here it is, man. Like, it's yours. The world is yours, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you have to want it, and you have to be willing to put in the work. You know, and some people really don't want it, bro. And I didn't want it at a certain point in my life.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about, but it's like, but the underlying issues there, when I look back, it's like, why didn't I want it? You know, and it's because I hadn't worked through so much stuff, right? From childhood to relationships to, you know, was mom and dad or brothers and sisters or whatever it was, right? All these like trauma things that I experienced, right? Like that was some of the cause for me not wanting it or not feeling like more importantly, like I didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
That's what it was. It was like, oh, I don't deserve this.
You felt like you weren't deserving of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't deserve it. And then you grow into like not wanting it. It's like, I don't even want it now.
Yeah. No, like I had like a cap on myself. You know what I mean? Of like, all right, like even whenever I had a little bit of worth, it was like, all right, I'm gonna be the farthest I'm gonna get is I'm gonna be a GM at Little Caesars. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, no disrespect to anybody that works at Little Caesars, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like that was like the cap that I put on myself. That like, yeah, this is just what I'll be. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm worthy of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had no self-worth, bro. Like I was so okay with that. You know?
Right.
And today I'm like, fuck, bro. Like I see even like people that come into the treatment center that I'm like, they have that cap on themselves. You know what I mean? On like, you know, what they're gonna do, and like, no, bro, like you deserve more. You know what I'm saying? You do deserve more, and I'll be the guy to tell you that shit, that you do deserve more and you can do more, and maybe some people don't take it the right way, bro. But I'm that motherfucker, bro, that's gonna tell you like your worth and that you can do it, and there's no excuses as to why. Right? You know, because if someone like yourself, right, or myself, can go from a place of being homeless, and you homeless for fucking 2 years and experiencing the trauma and the things that you have, to working your way up to a position where you're at today, in a position to where I'm at today, in an 8-year process, and even in a 2-year process with you, bro, like, there's no reason why that struggling people can't achieve whatever the fuck it is they want to achieve.
Yeah, you just got to wake up every day, right? I think like the goal for me, the goal I set for myself was like, wake up every day and do something more than I did the day before, you know? And that's how it started, right? It started with like making my bed. I preach this to the guys all the time. Wake up, make your bed, brush your teeth, right? Like do your laundry, like do the little things. Yeah. And all those little things will build into like the life that you want, right? Yeah. But it starts small. And if you're not willing to do the small stuff, you know, if you don't want to shower every day, if you don't want to make your bed, it's hard for me to help you. Yeah. You know? That's the truth. You have to want those things to begin with, right? And that's where it starts.
It does. It does start with those small things, bro. And it's like fucking making your bed is one of them, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't fucking do it. Like if my bed is not made, something happened when I woke up that I had to bounce the fuck out the door super quick. Right. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a good fucking reason as to why I did not make my bed before I left my house. Right. Because if you can't do little things like that, and it's like when you have your own place, right? No one's watching me. No one's telling me to make my bed. No one can see my bed. You know what I'm saying? Right. And if I can't hold myself accountable to do something like that, how the fuck am I going to operate in life, bro? You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's something so minuscule like that, of just making your bed in the morning and making a commitment to yourself that that's what you're going to do. Yep. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's you, and once you do that, right, then you'll start making yourself maybe some breakfast in the morning. You know, and then it starts like all these like little things, right? And it's like, and then you feel a little better, so you make breakfast, you have a little more energy, right? Yep. And then maybe you go to the gym, right? Yeah. You go to the gym and like, okay, now you're ready for your day, right? Yeah. Maybe you're ready to like find that new job.
Yeah, dude.
And then that new girl comes into your life, you know, and you get more motivated.
Now we're talking. Yeah,
right?
dude.
But that's what this is, right? That's what recovery is.
Yeah. It is, man.
It's all the little stuff just piled up together.
It is.
Into these big successes.
That's the truth, man. That's absolute truth that, you know, if you can't do the small shit, you ain't got no shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
He ain't got no shot. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's certain careers out there and you know, I guess talents that could exclude you from doing those things. But like,
Right.
it's even like a musician or an artist or something. If you don't have the self-discipline to be in the studio every single day and lock in and do what you need to do and give it your all, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You can't even motherfucking make your bed in the morning, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's minuscule stuff like that, man, that I think that a lot of people don't realize that it does go a very, very long way on, like, how you're going to operate in your life, you know? And I don't know, man. We preach it all the fucking time, don't we?
Yeah, all the time, you know? And that's why we do those little things, though. That's why we preach the chores to the guys and the laundry and, like, all that little stuff. And they don't realize it, right? They might think we're harping on them.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it appears that way. But, you know, we don't know. They don't know they're building character, right? They're building character through their actions every day.
Absolutely.
You know, whether they realize that or not. And a lot of our guys are, man, they're so young, right? It's so young.
No, for real. I've literally taught people how to do laundry and taught people how to make their bed and taught people how to, you know what I'm saying?
Make
like,
a pancake, right?
Make a pancake, literally, like how to cook, you know what I mean? And you know, for the younger guys that say they don't know how to do these things, and most of the time it's fucking bullshit, you know what I mean? But, you know, sometimes you just gotta teach people some things, man. And, you know, I can only say it from my own life experience that, like, I don't want to come home to a dirty house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to wake up to a dirty house. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to come home and feel proud about what I've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? And feel good when I walk into my place.
Yep.
You know? And whether that be in a sober living or someone's apartment, we're all, from a sober living standpoint, right? From an early recovery standpoint, we're working towards that, getting to your own place. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And taking certain steps to get to that point, to where you are ready for that. And I always put it in perspective for them that, like, why work so hard, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're not even going to, like, take care of the shit that you have, you know?
Yeah, there's no reason, right?
There's not, bro. And it's fucking make your bed, dude.
Comes down to, like, if we go back to self-worth and self-respect, right? And, you know, we get a lot of guys in that don't have that, you know, and it's like meeting people where they're at, you know, and having a little bit of empathy for the guys that come in. And some of them come from really rough, you know, backgrounds.
Yeah.
Really rough childhood.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't have those life skills, right? And that's pretty, like, it makes you feel good, right? When you can teach somebody that hasn't ever done those little things, like how to do them.
Yeah.
Right? And they're appreciative, a lot of these guys that come from these
if they
homes
continuously
that are
continue
brutal.
it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If it's not one of those things like, thank you so much for showing me, bro, and then, like, you come in the next day and it's fucked up again, you know, like, it's a good feeling, man, to be in a position to show people, you know, how to live as an adult, you know, because that's an adult and someone like you, right, that does keep your things clean and make your bed every day and is about cleanliness. Like, you're like that because, bro, you were fucking homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have shit, bro. You were living in a fucking tent with a smelly fucking pit bull. You know what I mean? Like, like, fucking bang the fuck up. And same thing with me, bro. I slept outside. I slept under a pier. I slept in a fucking old lady's fucking camper with fucking cat piss all over the place. And, like, I didn't have this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, my own space. You know? Like, I didn't have that. So
it's important.
It is really important, man, because in the snap of a finger, it could go back to that.
Yeah, and that's the scary part, right? I always keep that in the back of my mind, right? I start losing my gratitude sometimes, you know? My addiction creeps back in. And I always say my addiction because that's, like, where that behavior and those thoughts and those attitudes come in. It's like, you know what? I deserve more. You know?
Yeah.
I fucking earned this. You know what I mean? Fucking give it to me, right? And it's like, oh, fuck, dude, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's when I start losing that gratitude for, like, the simple stuff, right? For the four walls and a roof, you know? And it's like, I have to remind myself, you know?
I do too, man.
It's like, be grateful for all the simple stuff.
Yeah.
And it makes my life so much easier.
I get ahead of myself sometimes.
So much easier.
It does, man. And I do look up to people that have that sense of peace and just being okay with, I don't want to say, like, the bare minimum, but, like, being okay with just what they have, you know?
Right.
And that's, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually, like, very inspirational. you know, to just be like at peace. And, you know, it's easy for me to like, fucking dude, I moved my apartment the other day and they fucked up my TV. You know what I mean? And I'm like, these fucking, and you know, until we're having this conversation now, I'm over here like, damn, bro, I got like a couple TVs. Like, what am I tripping about, dude? Like, at least I have a fucking TV.
I think you said to me the other day, we have all these extra TVs. What are we going to do?
Yeah. I fucking forgot about that.
You know? And it's like,
Yeah.
that's what Nolan said. He was like, yeah, we broke his TV. I was like, bro, we have so many extra TVs now. He's going to be okay.
That's
He's
the
going to make
truth.
it through this
That's the
problem.
truth, man. I was so mad, bro. I was so mad. I'm texting him like, you guys broke my fucking TV. You know what I mean? I'm even fucking, maybe like a couple hours ago, I'm fucking yelling about it, dude, you know? And it's crazy, man. I didn't have shit 8.5 years ago, bro.
Right.
I didn't have fucking nothing, bro. I had one pair of shoes and 2 pairs of clothes.
How'd you build all this then? What happened?
I mean, for me, bro, like, I'll never forget it, right? I was at like my 5th fucking sober living. You know what I mean? I've been kicked out all the ones before and gone through programs and detoxes, and I kept going around the rooms of like AA and NA, and like, dude, this kid had gotten kicked out of the sober living that I was living in, and this was like the last place that I had got into after being fucking sleeping on the street, right? And I got a scholarship into treatment, and I did like the detox and all that shit. And they didn't give me any fucking detox meds. And I think it's because I was a scholarship and I didn't have money to pay for the meds. So they just let me kick, bro.
Oh.
It was fucking brutal. Coming off opiates, bro. And I'm in the sober living, and I start to stir, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, this is about the time when I fuck this shit up. And this fucking kid, bro, got kicked out of the sober living, and he took all of my shit with him. Oh. For the 3rd time, okay? For the 3rd time, I had acquired a couple more things, like a couple more pairs of clothes, and a kid took all my shit with him, bro. And all I had was this suitcase, this little fucking tiny black suitcase, still have it. And I had the fucking name tag on it, my name tag on it from being in the treatment center. You know, I don't know if they take your suitcases and they fucking put your name on it and shit. And I was fucking tired, bro. I was tired of going through the same process of having to be back in the sober living, or fucking getting high and being back on the street and going back into the sober living and getting high and being on the street and going back. And I was just tired, bro. And I had been around in the rooms of AA and NA, and I saw these guys that were like clicked up in there, and they fucking had a nice haircut, and they fucking had a job, and you know, some of them had cars and shit, and they were like fucking all happy and shit. And like, I was like, fuck, bro, like I want that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of being miserable, and like I'm seeing these guys do it. You know what I'm saying? And it was the first time that my ears were open, and I was like actually paying attention. Like, wait, these guys did it. They're my age. You know what I'm saying? And like, they're doing shit with their life. They're fucking happy. Like, why the fuck can't I, man? You know what I'm saying? Right. And I did what they did, bro. And they got involved in a program. Yep. I got involved in NA. I got a sponsor. I worked the steps. I did all that stuff. And I think the most important thing to me was like when I started sponsoring other guys and started mentoring other guys, and I was ended up being like a halfway house manager. Mm-hmm. And like that's where I found like my passion, bro. When I got put in that position to be a sober living manager, like that's where I was like, fuck, man, I love this shit. You know what I mean? Like I think I found like what I want to do, and it gave me something worth living for. You know what I'm saying? Although I might have had other things that people saw, like, oh, well, you have a family, and you know, your mom and your siblings and all this shit, and like, but I didn't believe in myself, bro. I didn't believe I was worthy of love or worthy of that stuff. And
you had to find that drive.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I did, man. And when I got involved in the industry, I'd say like when I started being the house manager that checked curfews and UA'd people and did the breathalyzers, and you know, had to throw people out when they got high, and like I liked being in that position to be able to make a difference, right? And being able to like be that person that people could come to and create like this like community, you know? And I fell in love with that, bro. Yeah. And it changed my life. You know what I mean? And I don't mean like materialistically or like financially. I just mean like it changed me as an individual on what my priorities were and like what I wanted to work towards. And that's why I see a lot of the guys, you know, even like here in the treatment center and just in general, bro, is like just getting a little taste of it, bro. Like just getting a little taste of like what recovery could really be like, or being able to see someone in front of you that has a similar story, maybe not the exact story, but struggle with drugs and alcohol, and they've acquired shit. Nothing was given to them. And these guys that I would pay attention to, that I saw clicked up in the rooms, just in the community of recovery, like I saw that like they had that. You know what I'm saying? That like they had been through what I had been through. Maybe not exactly, but like had nothing. And they spiritually fulfilled themselves and were of service to other people. And now they had a life worth living. And it was like 2 + 2 is 4. Like, holy fuck, a light went off, you know? And ever since then, bro, like I haven't turned back, bro. You know what I mean? I'm so scared in a healthy way to ever go back to that sleeping on the street, being miserable, waking up every day wanting to fucking die, and like figuring out I was going to scheme to even just get throughout the day. You know what I mean?
Man, that's crazy. That's important. That healthy fear.
Yeah, right? It is a healthy fear.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a good fear.
It is, man. It is.
It's nuts that we can say that. Right?
Yeah,
it's just healthy fear.
It's okay to be scared, bro.
It's crazy to think
of shit like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's sparked a drive in me, bro. For 8 years straight, bro. That like people ask me like, okay, what would you do if you weren't doing this? I have no fucking idea, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not see myself doing anything else in my life besides helping people that are struggling with drug addiction or mental health. Right. You know? Like, I really just, it's an amazing process, bro.
Yeah. And it's going to be there. I mean, unfortunately, right? It's just exponentially getting bigger.
Yeah.
And it's getting scarier by the day.
Yeah.
Right.
No, straight up.
Yeah.
It is, bro.
Yeah.
It is, dude. And I'm telling you, and like, it's one of those things too where like, you know, everybody thinks that like it gets easier, right? Like it's like the more you achieve, the easier life gets, and that's not fucking the case.
A lot more problems.
Right? Yeah, a lot more problems, but you're able to deal with them in a better way, right?
Yeah, I think, and you have good problems today.
Luxury problems, they would say.
Yeah,
you know,
good problems. You know,
good problems for sure, and it's nothing that I can't get through as long as I don't get high. You know what I mean? There's not a good enough reason in this world, bro. And I've been through the most traumatizing, fucked up shit in my life, in my sobriety, and still managed to not go back to that way. You know what I mean? And if I can get through those things with the tools that I gained throughout this process, there's not a good enough reason to go back to where I was, dude. There's not anything in this world, right, that I cannot get through without drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean? Like, I have literally been thrown the biggest curveballs of my life. You know what I mean? In my sobriety. So for people to think that because you get sober, that all this shit just stops, right? It's all fucking rainbows and unicorns, and it's just fucking beautiful life, and like nothing bad happens. Like, you are sadly mistaken, bro. You know what I mean? At fucking 4 years clean, I came home and found my brother dead, bro. Try to resuscitate him. You know what I mean? And my brother, my own brother, you know, and didn't go back down that road. You know, getting high even through that situation was never an option for me. You know what I'm saying? It never crossed my mind to go back to the drugs and alcohol. Did I get in a very dark space? Absolutely. Did I fall into a depression? Absolutely. You know what I mean? But I did not use. And I saw that as long as I did not use, my life would continue to move on and I would continue to get better, right?
That's a huge reservation, too, that a lot of people hold.
Yeah,
right?
no, it is.
If
and
mom and dad passes or brother passes, right?
I told
I'm going to go
myself
back
that.
to using. I hear it all the time in groups, you know?
I
That's
told
the
myself
one
that.
reservation everybody holds on to.
I told myself that, bro.
Yeah.
That if anything ever happened to my family, you know what I'm saying? That would be the day.
Yep.
You know? And thank God, bro. And that's why I say it all the time. Are you going to be spiritually fit enough, right? For when these things happen to be able to handle them. And thank God I was spiritually fulfilled and I had the spiritual backing that I had from doing the work on myself to be able to handle it. You know what I mean? Does the pain go away? Absolutely not. Does it just, do you just, you know what I mean? Does it just stop, right? Like, do you just, you know, get through it? Like, no, you learn how to live with it. You know what I'm saying? And you learn how to not let it affect your life in a destructive way. Do I have days that I don't want to get up? Absolutely. Do I have days where I want to fucking shut my office door and fucking cry? Absolutely, I do. You know what I mean? But as long as I don't get high, right? As long as I don't pick up a drink, life will move on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And life will continue to progress and get better. You know, and I'm grateful for that. And
100%.
it's just it's the proof is in the pudding, bro. And I'm just so happy that I never went back down that road.
Yeah, I think you know, it's important. I said it earlier. I think as long as, you know, I don't get high, right, and I stay on the path that I'm supposed to stay on. It's funny. It's like you said, 2 + 2 = 4, right? I started seeing these people that have all this success, and they made these promises to me. Like some early mentors that I had, they were just like, Steve, if you don't use, just give it enough time, right? Just give it enough time, you know, and you'll start to see all these things fall into place. And I grew impatient, right? It's like 4 months, and I'm like, where's all my gold, right? Like, where's my prizes at?
God, why hasn't the money fell from the tree?
Nothing's like just falling in my lap, you know? Just give it a little longer, you know, 6 months. And then things started to come, accumulate, and then 8 months, and then 9. And then it started like building a little faster, right? And like I started getting more opportunities. And all I had to do was stay sober.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
and all I had to do was like give it back, and it was like, holy shit. You know, I looked around one day, and it's like, man, I've come a long ways.
Yeah,
you know?
bro.
In a very short time, right? And it's like those promises are true, right?
Think
And this
about
program
it,
it's so important to remember that.
It is.
That's what I tell people: just stay patient.
Bro, think about
Stay patient,
29 years,
you're
right?
good.
29 years of drug addiction,
Right.
and what you've acquired in 2 years of recovery.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, think about the math there, bro. Like, 29 years of addiction and what you've accomplished in 2 years of sobriety, you know? Like, and that was like my mark, right? Was really at my 2-year mark where I was like, oh, fuck, bro. Like, this shit's actually happening. You know what I mean? And I didn't throw in the towel. Yeah, I achieved some little jobs here and there and started to move up at a certain pace. But, like, bro, you're a director of operations for a fucking treatment center. You know what I'm saying? With 2 years into your recovery. Not even 2 years, you know, coming up on 2 years into your recovery. Like, that's really where, you know, those first 2 years, you're shaping yourself to move a certain way and learning how to deal with the obstacles that come towards you in your life to get to that 2-year mark. And now it's on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'll say this, like, there was no incentive for me to even stay in this industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think rightfully so. And I'm sort of glad that happened, right? Because I stuck it out when it was like, there was not much keeping me in it. You know, as far as like financially and stuff goes, like there was no money in this for me, right? It was basically like almost a volunteer position for a long time.
Yeah, same,
you know?
bro, same.
And it was like, but I was told, right? And I trusted the guys that told me this. Hey, man, if you stick with this, you know, you'll see some better results. And sure enough, like you come out of the woods a little bit, and you're like, holy shit, you know, it's true,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it took a lot of hard work. It wasn't like nothing was ever handed.
Yeah,
you know, which
no.
I really appreciate in this business.
Yeah.
Right? If you work hard, you get the rewards.
Exactly.
Right.
But it comes from working hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it's only with the hard work.
It's same thing with me, man. And even just being in the position that I'm in today, it's like a lot of people they just see like today, right? They're like,
yeah.
oh, like I just fucking woke up one day and like, you know, like acquired some shit. Like, no, bro. Like it took 8 years of blood, sweat, and tears, bro.
Right.
Literally. To get to today. You know what I'm saying? It took 8 years to get to this point.
And now you get to enjoy it a little.
Yeah, and sometimes.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, no, bro. I'm having a hell of a time, man. I really am. And
Right.
I just that's why I when I see people about to throw in the towel, bro, and it's almost every single time when someone's about to throw in the towel that like something beautiful is about to happen. You know what I mean?
You gave me that advice recently, as a matter of fact. We had that conversation.
Yeah, it's the truth, though, bro.
Right.
And when things seem to get rough, right, and you get fucking ruffled and emotionally unstable, and you're just fucking, dude, and I've been fucking feeling like that recently, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I've seen that as long as I don't give in, right, as long as I don't throw in the towel, like there's almost every single time something beautiful is about to happen, dude.
Right.
You know, and I've seen it in your life, bro. You
Yeah.
know, and it's you've grown in this process of this treatment center with us, and you know what I mean. I've seen you even just like excel in your own life. You know what I mean, on like how you handle situations and fucking. We all learn. You know what I mean. We've all learned through,
absolutely.
you know, this whole process, and you know, I can say that, you know, I'm very appreciative of you, and I know that you have a very big impact on, you know, a lot of the guys here, and you know, it's a good position to be in, bro. And I'm sure if someone would have asked you 2 years ago, right, when you were fucking all banged up out there on the street, like if you would be, you know, in the position that you're at today, you know what I mean? Like, I bet you'd be like, yo, y'all are fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, I said you were nuts.
Yeah, dude.
You know, I will remember, I'll tell you this. I ended up in detox because I met this lady in the woods who was tweaked out of her mind, right? She'd been up for I don't know how many days. And she kept trying to give me this phone number for this guy. She was like, call this guy. He can get you into treatment. And I'm like, all right, she's nuts, right? Sure enough, I take her card, right? And I'm pretty desperate at that point. And I make the phone call, and the guy's on the other end. He's like, yeah, man, I can help you. I'm like, okay. What do I got to do? Just give me your information. I give him my information. He sets everything up for me. And a month later, I get into this program, you know, which is nuts, right? And this is a random, tweaked out lady in the woods. Yeah. But I feel like that's a God shot.
God sent
right?
you here, bro.
Yeah, bro.
God sent you here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
It's wild, man. It's wild to just think like God sent you some twacked out lady in the fucking bushes, bro. Like that saved your life, bro.
That was so normal back then.
Yeah.
It doesn't seems weird now, but it was
right.
back
you
then.
probably thought it was like a fake number or something.
Yeah, dude, it was just part of my
on
day.
meth.
Just like whatever. She probably wants something. You know?
Yeah.
She wants my shoes or something. Who knows, right?
Oh man, it's awesome, bro. And I can't say how much I appreciate you, bro. And I know a lot of the guys in our community could say the same thing. And I genuinely appreciate you, man. And
Likewise.
Appreciate you taking the time to come on and share your experience, strength, and hope, bro. And hopefully somebody can be impacted by this. Steve is director of operations here at the Healthier Choice Recovery, and has been here from the get, from Patrick's Purpose Sober Living to, you know, opening the treatment center, and you know, from the ground up. And motherfucker's a rider. That's for damn sure, bro.
It's been a good ride, though, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a good ride. And I'm fucking excited to see what's on the other end of this.
Yeah, bro.
You know?
It's just the beginning, brother.
It's going to be great.
We're just getting started.
Right?
All right. Thank you for coming, bro.
All right, brother. Yep.